Okay, so are you ready to get a little deeper?
Always.
This time we were diving into hemostasis.
Okay.
You know how our body stops bleeding?
Right.
But we're going way beyond, basic first aid here.
Yeah.
This is like the nitty-gritty.
The real deal.
Yeah, we're going deep into those mechanisms.
Uh-huh.
Based on some physiology notes by Dr. Rasha Eldeeb.
Cool.
So we'll be talking about all sorts of cool stuff, like why is vitamin K so important?
Okay.
What's the difference between the extrinsic and intrinsic pathways?
Mm-hmm.
Which, those sound kind of like spy movies to me.
They do. They do.
But by the end of this, you're going to come away, with a real understanding
Yeah.
of the players and processes involved in keeping us from, bleeding out.
Exactly.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is hemostasis?
So hemostasis is really all about maintaining the integrity of your blood vessels. It's not just stopping bleeding when you get a cut. It's also about making sure that your blood is flowing smoothly when there isn't an injury.
Okay, so it's like a constant balancing act.
Yeah.
Your blood is flowing,
Yeah.
but it's also ready to clot like that.
At a moment's notice, yes.
So walk me through it. What happens when, let's say you nick yourself while chopping vegetables or something?
Okay. So let's say you're chopping veggies, you get a little cut. The first thing that happens is vasoconstriction. The blood vessels around the injury, they actually constrict to reduce blood flow.
Oh, so that's like pinching a garden hose to
Yeah, exactly.
stop it temporarily.
Just to flow, yeah.
Okay. But that's not a long-term solution.
No, it's just a temporary fix. So the next thing that happens is that platelets come into play. They're like little sticky superheroes in your blood.
Okay.
And when they encounter a damaged blood vessel wall, they stick to it and they start to form a plug.
Oh, so they're like that quick patch.
Exactly, buying time for the more complex clotting process to kick in.
So this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
What is blood coagulation?
Okay, so blood coagulation. This is where it gets really intricate. So you have this cascade of events, like a domino effect, one step triggering the next, and it all leads to the formation of a fibrin clot.
Fibrin.
Yeah. Fibrin is a tough fibrous protein that forms a mesh, and that mesh traps red blood cells and other components of blood and solidifies the clot.
So it's like literally weaving a net to seal up the leak.
Precisely.
Okay, so I remember Dr. LD talks about two pathways.
Yeah.
Extrinsic and intrinsic.
Yes.
What's the difference between these two?
So both pathways lead to the same end goal, which is that fibrin clot, but they're triggered by different events. So the extrinsic pathway that's activated by tissue damage outside the blood vessel, like when you cut yourself chopping veggies.
Okay.
And that one is fast-acting, kicks in within seconds. The intrinsic pathway is triggered by factors within the blood itself, like when the lining of a blood vessel is damaged, and that one's a bit slower.
So it's like having two alarm systems.
Yeah.
One for external threats.
Right.
And one for like breaches inside.
Exactly.
Okay, now there are a couple of terms that Dr. Eldeeb uses.
Yeah.
Thrombin and fibrinogen.
Yes.
What are those and how do they fit into all of this?
So thrombin is an enzyme, and it converts fibrinogen, which is a soluble protein, into fibrin, that tough protein that forms the clot.
Oh, so it's like thrombin is like the sculptor.
Yes.
Shaping the raw material into the final product.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about vitamin K. I know it's important for strong bones, but I know that it also plays a role in clotting.
Yes, it does.
So what's the connection there?
So vitamin K is essential for your liver to produce certain clotting factors.
Okay.
It's crucial for making factors 2, 7, 9, and 10, which are all part of the prothrombin group.
Oh, so it's like vitamin K is the quality control manager in that clotting factor factory.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
But there's more than just those 4 clotting factors, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There are a bunch of other clotting factors, and they're kind of grouped into families based on their functions and how they're activated. So you have the prothrombin group that we talked about, but there's also the fibrinogen group, which includes factors activated by thrombin, the contact group, which is mainly involved in the intrinsic pathway, and then there's tissue factor, which triggers that rapid extrinsic pathway that we were talking about earlier.
Wow.
And then let's not forget calcium.
Oh, right.
It plays a supporting role throughout the whole process.
It's amazing how it all works together.
It is really an incredible cascade of events.
But what happens if this delicate system gets disrupted?
Well, that's when you can have problems, either with bleeding too much or clotting when you shouldn't. So there are a number of bleeding disorders. Some people inherit them, some people acquire them. And then on the flip side, if clots form when they shouldn't, Well, that can cause serious problems like deep vein thrombosis or even a stroke.
It's amazing how much we just take this incredible system for granted.
Hmm.
We just assume that our blood is going to clot when we need it to. We don't think about it until something goes wrong.
And what's even more incredible is that scientists are still learning new things about hemostasis.
Really?
Yeah, there's still so much we don't know.
So next time I get a paper cut, I'm going to stop and think about the incredible microscopic drama that's going on under my skin.
I think we all should. It's a little reminder of just how complex and how resilient our bodies are.
Well, I think that's a good place to stop for now.
I agree.
And I'm going to make sure to thank Dr. Eldeeb for those incredible notes. So next time you get a little nick or scratch, just think about all those tiny players rushing to your rescue. It really is a hidden superpower.
It really is.
So until next time, stay curious and keep on learning.
See ya.